New face in the stitches, then? I love new faces. I can front you a little money in exchange for... well, we can talk terms over wine. To what do my brother and I owe the pleasure? Focus. Looked like a collar to me. Pity it doesn't fit any of our pets. Don't call it such around Serene. Nearly clawed poor Skip-Ion's nose off over it. It's such a good nose, too. Reminds me of Mother. Anyway, price is set. Will you pay it?
I am positively fuming. Julius has our entire wardrobe shipped here from Kvatch, and he still manages to pick out the exact same outfit I'm wearing. As if it weren't clear enough we're twins. But you're not here to listen to a sibling's prattle. That rancid-smelling thing? I can't believe my brother paid mostly honest gold for it. Probably cursed. He should just be rid of it and be done with the whole torrid affair. Speaking of torrid affairs... well, perhaps later. Well, you do seem to look like someone well-equipped to deal with this sort of thing. Julius owes me a favor, so I'll call it in for you. The trinket is yours. You can find it in a jewelry box behind the counter.
Blah, can't get the taste out of my mouth. It's awful. Good, Kazda's made the stitches unpalatable, like that swill he's got the tavern pouring. I'm ready to get out, but I wouldn't mind batting Kazda's tail along the way. I'm sure Taznasi feels the same. I need a moment or two. Look, I'll meet you at the bowl. Once the world stops spinning. Look, you seem halfway decent, so don't stick your muzzle too far in, alright? Taznazi's got her own business, and I know too much about it already. I don't drink just because I like the flavor of the tavern's bilge. I'm hazy on the details. To be honest, I'm hazy on a lot of things these days. But I know Taznazi can't show her face in the stitches. And it's not just Kazda that'd like to see her dead. You've seen the type of people who call the stitches home. Thieves, smugglers, deserters. Nobody keen on laws. Of the few rules we have, she broke the one you don't break. Murder. I've said more than I should have already. It's in the past. Taznasi had her reasons. She always has her reasons. Not that I ever got to hear them. She's not going to stab you in the back if that's what's worrying you. Keep your mind on the job. Just a mage looking for something at the bottom of a bottle. I don't really know. And if I'm being honest, I don't know if I ever knew.
Said Nalitha the Avuncular, even in somber times must the wayfarer be offered greetings. Nazdar greets you, wayfarer, though his times are somber indeed. What brings you to this one? Hotaza the Corpulent often said, "The forgetting of friends is a grievous wrong." Wise words. Tasnasi has not visited him in some time, but this one has not forgotten her, so believe Nazdar when he regretfully declines her invitation. This one has lost a prized possession, a lute gifted by a dear, departed friend. It has buoyed Nazdar's soul for so long, he sinks without it. Weighed down as such, he cannot be the fleet walker Tasnasi needs him to be. Truly? This one was practicing his lute in the canyon below, but his playing attracted irascible beasts. He was forced to leave it behind as he scrambled up the cliffs. The truth, however, noxious is sweeter than rose blossom, to quote the venerable Bait. Nazdar plays, but not well. The others throw things at him when he practices, so he plays where he can be alone. A saint. He once led the Stitches, not to glory perhaps, but away from shame. Even saints do not live forever, nor did he. But as Ballant the Canonical said, "The dead recalled in good memories are the true saints of our lives." As Zubacha the Hermit said to Intasi after returning from his grand pilgrimage, "Hello. This one is cheered to see you without the blemishes of harm." As often said by Polu the Overstating, this is worthy of celebration. You have done this one a great turn. In the dark days the Stitches find themselves in, it is good to hold a memory of brighter times. Your kindness reminds Nazdar of the love dashing Tasalzo had for the Stitches in life. This one recalls many joys in the company of Tasnazi and the others. He would like to feel them again. Nazdar will go where Tasnazi bids. Life of decades cannot be reckoned in minutes, so the blind poet has taught us. But Nazdar will do his best. The Stitches was once like it is today, a refuse pit of the spirit, home of vice, self-interest, and the vain depravities of life. De Salzo came to the gangs of the Stitches and showed them a common foe, Euraxia's armies. We harried them, stole from them, bled them dry, and we formed bonds. To quote Aidino the Aphoric, the greatest gift the indolent can receive is purpose. His death did not rip those bonds apart, but without De Salzo's care in keeping them tight-knit, they are unraveling nonetheless, and Kazda is pulling at the threads. But some, like Nazdar, keep De Salzo's memory and his hope. Nazdar knows you see more ribs than muscles on him. This is true, but he once was a brother of the Whispering Claw, so dedicated to that life he was, that he took a vow of silence. You have read the works of Vekla the Ephemeral. Nazdar is glad to know a fellow student. Yes, Nazdar was silent for 19 years, but one night in moonlight he heard through his cell a song, a simple tune but captivating. Some peasant tune hummed by a swineherd going home, but Gerasti, moonsinger, said, "Beauty is not in the art, but in what it instills." In that moment, Nazdar knew he must sing, so he broke his vow and left the adeptorium to make music. "You can make art for others," said Erka of the Bard College, "or for yourself. Nazdar knows he is not good enough to make art for others, but Dashing the Salzo always encouraged Nazdar to make art for himself. Nazdar will never forget that.
We are setting up shop, Rook. Feel free to check back later.
Something you need, stranger? Well, wouldn't you know it, the keg does in fact belong to me. That right there is the finest sample of sweet rot meth brew ever made. Well, truthfully, it's the only sample of sweet rot meth brew ever made. My own invention, if you can believe it. You see, the Khajiit aren't typically fond of rot meth. I think the rancid meat smell is what turns them off. That's why I added plenty of moon sugar to my brew. It's sure to be a hit now. The keg must have dropped out of our wagon, which is a little odd, given that my husband should have been sitting right by it. Oh well, no harm done. And here's a reward for your troubles. Not sure what we would do if we lost this beauty. Dearest, come look at this. A stranger found my rot meth keg on the side of the road. Can you believe it?
Oh, look at that. Must have fallen right off the wagon. How lucky someone found it.
And it should be nice and fermented by now. You can finally test it.
Of course. Let me just drink this. Oh, so delicious brew.
Well, how does it taste? Huh. Looks like I'll need to tweak the recipe a bit. Seems like I've quite a bit of work ahead of me. Still, the Imperial City wasn't built in a day. I just need to tweak the recipe a bit and try again. Of course not. It's obvious now that the poor dear can't handle his rot meth. I just wish he'd said something sooner. But hey, if you're looking for a bit of extra gold, I could always use a new taster. That's what I like to hear. Unfortunately, the next batch will take a few weeks to properly ferment. But hey, I'll be sure to let you know it's ready if I see you around.
ropes off of me. Joe Bonnie and I had a deal. I delivered.
True. But why keep paying when we can just make you do it for free? Now get inside.
Keep your nose clean around Jubanis. She doesn't like snoops.
Hey, you're not one of Joe Bonnie's thugs. Can you get me out of here? I'm getting out of
I
here.
didn't want
Catch
to
up to me
call
so I
the
can thank you
guards,
properly.
but you forced my hand.
Thanks for your help back there. Joe Bonnie and her thugs are a bunch of hammers that think everything is a nail. Geniuses included. Altruism isn't a thing in the Stitches. So what do you want? Need a lock picked? Something repaired? Tarsney, huh? That's funny. I was just thinking about her recently, seeing what's gone on around this dump. How it's gotten, dumpier than usual. But she's pulling together a job. I swore that Kazda ran her out of town when he took over. Last time I ran my mouth, Joe Bonnie sent her unexpectedly handsome thugs after me. I'm not spilling any more secrets. But it's nice to know Tosnessy's still around. She really loves this place after all. Even after everything that's happened to her. Well, Joe Bonnie's sure to notice I'm missing. Joining up with a crew seems like a good way to keep my fingers unbroken. So sure, whatever Tosnessy's playing at, I'm in. The bowel. Well, that's ironic. I'll head there after I get more tools and find another pair of small clothes. That Kazda ran her out of town? Or tried to, I guess. It's not any secret. He may be a rancid pile of cat vomit, but this is his town now. He does what he wants. Bad blood. Truth told, Tosnessy would have been charged after dashing to Salzo died, if things hadn't gone down the way they did. It's not my place to say anything more than that. Joe Bonnie runs the biggest salvage operation in the Stitches, and she knows she gets paid more if her salvage is in pure junk. When a crew found stuff that wasn't busted up, I fixed it. For pay. Kazda happened. He took over the Stitches and didn't care if people broke oaths, contracts, or ribs. Joe Bonnie saw a chance to get more labor for free. Just had to flex a little muscle. And don't let my rippling physique fool you. I'm, not much in a fight. Well, most don't. And to be fair, I wasn't always the brilliant tinkerer I am today. I don't know what caused the change, honestly. I think eating that soul gem had something to do with it. Well, I didn't just pluck one up and eat it. I was scouting for the Dominion way north. Some ruin called Sardathal. I was running from some guards when I fell into a shaft. And fell. And fell. It was a long fall. Caught a ledge at the last minute. Broke my fall. And my fingers. Real mess. Anyway, I found myself in this strange cavern. Huge. Had dwarven ruins, biggest I've ever seen inside of it. More stone and metal than I could imagine. Not so much food. Not quite. I finally managed to find a charis. Big bug. Tastes awful, don't recommend it, but I ate like my life depended on it. I mean, it did. I half remember a glowing stone going in my mouth. Swallowed it whole before I even realised. More like indigestion, but also this indescribable urge to fiddle with the ruins. Well, I guess I'd call it curiosity. But anyway, I fixed an elevator like it was second nature and got back home. Then I got discharged on account of my weak hand.
That's everyone. Taznazi must speak with you.
To see Taznazi, Serene, and Vol once more warms me from ear to tail. The joy of friendship is best known by the heart in a reunion. So the fifth song of the Palatine verses goes.
Haven't seen the old crew in a while. Nazdar's looking spry as ever and Serene still smells like a distillery.
Hooray! Everybody's here! Could we maybe keep the reunion to a whisper? This cave echoes and my head is killing me.
Taznazi has not seen her old crew in some time. Not since... Never mind. You were not followed, yes? Taznazi is not welcome in the Stitches. Associates of Taznazi, also not welcome. Kazda was lieutenant to Dashing the Salzo. Taznazi as well, until he was found with her knife in his back. No one cared if she was innocent. They wanted someone to blame, and Kazda gave them an answer. After everything, they turned their backs on her. It's not. No, you're right. Taznazi says she hates this place. She should hate this place. But the Stitches is her home, her family. Taznazi won't sit idle while Kazda destroys it. Her reasons aren't important. We should discuss the plan. Today, we hit Kazda right under his nose. We'll break into the basement of the Mirville Keep through this sewer, so long as Vol can pick the locks.
Ah, locks. Cute. Might as well be fancifully knotted ribbons to me.
Good. At the courtyard, we'll have sentries, but Serene's teleportation spell should let us pass unnoticed.
Were you talking to me?
We'll enter the palace through a second-floor storage room. Nazdar will scale the wall and drop a rope for us.
As spake Urua the Observant. I see.
Taznazi and the newcomer will handle any trouble that comes our way. Let's get started. You have any questions for Taznazi? Otherwise, we go.
To know the road you walk is a joy was recorded as the last words of Ofin Dentro. Our road is now known to us. It will be a joy to walk it.
As dumb as Kazda is, he never did skimp on security. Those locks he has in his dungeons are dwarven make. No one gets through those. Unless you're me, of course.
Teleporting. I should have eaten breakfast today, instead of drinking it. Taznazi's route involves us crossing the courtyard. The safest way to cross it without being seen? Don't cross it. So I'm going to teleport us, which is something I can absolutely do. It's hard to do even when you're not hungover, even if you've had a complete education from the Mages Guild. I mean, I've done it before, a couple of times, and it largely worked out fine. So let's give me the benefit of the doubt. Oh, why didn't I think of that? I'll just wave my tail and have us there in time for tea. I have to see where I'm going. If I was just guessing, well, I don't guess anymore, so there.
Nice to see you back at work, Bo.
Good to be working. You're less of a taskmaster than Jew, Bunny. Now, let's find some more locks.
Good luck, and work quickly.
Hey, that's our way to the courtyard.
They're through. No lagging behind. Serene, it's your turn.
Everyone stand still. You're making me crazy. Just need to concentrate. Focus the power. Imagine the destination. All right, here we go.
What the...
So far, so good. Now, Vol.
You're sure?
To quote the barkeep, you look sick.
Oh, that's not good.
This one prefers his feet.
Thought I lost you. Moons, you're not hurt, are you? All your limbs in place? And Nazdar's looking pretty good, actually. Now the not good. You and Nazdar didn't quite make it to where I intended, and it will be a while before I can cast something like that again. You'll have to make your own way here. There is a basic rule of spellcraft. Do not attempt while drunk, or while recently drunk. Never been great with rules. I ended up losing control of the spell while attempting to teleport you and Nazdar. Sorry about that. Taznasi wants you and Nazdar to make your way to the base of the South Tower. That's where we're waiting. She also was very insistent. Avoid killing any of the guards. Northwest? East-ish? You have to come through the courtyard, which means avoiding patrols. Don't get caught. Taznasi is going to be pretty upset if you kill anyone. She says it will raise alarms, but I know the truth. It's because Taznazi used to run with them. They were all part of Dashing Dasalso's crew back in the day. She tries to act like she doesn't care about them after they exiled her, but it's a lie.
Walk softly, Master Hendo taught me. If we get into trouble, be warned. I cannot help. My fists are weapons no longer. Soft as a whisper, quick as a shout. The first finger of the Whispering Claw teaches. As the second finger of the Whispering Claw says, shadows consume curiosity, time, and interest. Heed the third finger of the Whispering Claw. Distance is greater than any weapon. The fourth finger of the Whispering Claw states, command the space to move through it unseen. final finger of the Whispering Claw states, "The claw that passes as a whisper is the mark of the Master."
You made it, both of you. Taznazi is glad.
Sorry about that. When this is all done, I'll buy you a drink.
Moon's mercy, Serene. When we're done here, I will smash every bottle of wine in Elsweyer.
Not if I drink them first.
Nazdar, you're our way into this tower. Ready?
The ascent of the body is nothing compared to that of the soul. Saint Yosito spoke wisely.
Upstaged by a grey-maned grandpa. Next time I'll have to pick locks blindfolded and with my teeth.
Sorry, I thought I was going to vomit again. Where's Nazdar? Did I miss something?
Taznazi admits she was not certain the Old One still had it in him. You should have seen Nazdar before age caught his tail. We should get inside before anyone notices our presence.
Your knees shouldn't make that noise, right?
They should make no noise, Vol.
Taznazi's gotten tense. More tense than usual. Things could have gone smoother so far, sure. But she's not one to get rattled.
Nazdar did well to get us inside, but it looks like this strain was more than he could handle. He needs rest, which means Taznazi needs to change her plans. Vol is the closest thing we have to a healer. He might be able to get Nazdar moving again, but he needs time, which means he won't be able to pick the locks on Kazda's vaults. Taznazi wants you and Serene to get the vault keys. This one has other business in the palace. When she's done with it, she will meet you at the entrance to the vault, on the lower floors. Taznazi has always said she was innocent of the Salzo's death, and she knows in her heart that Kazda was behind it. She must have proof, not to show the stitches, but to quiet her own soul. She needs that more than her share of the gold. Take care getting the keys. The thugs in this palace are Kazda's most loyal, and just as vicious and cruel as he. Expect no mercy, and give none. Serene will help keep things quiet in case fighting breaks out. That was different. Many of the keep's guards were close to the Salzo. They follow Kazda only because they must. The lapdogs in this palace are loyal to Kazda alone. The ones who are closest to Kazda do not show loyalty because they are virtuous, but because he allows them to indulge their worst impulses. I am not telling you to punish them, only that they won't be missed by anyone in the stitches. Yes, Taznazi has gotten used to being on her own ever since the Salzo died. She knows this place like the back of her paw. She'll be fine. Nazdar has to stay behind. He's in no condition to creep through the palace right now. Hopefully Vol can get him back on his feet in time for an expedient departure. As long as they stay back in this old storeroom, they should be fine.
"No rest," wrote the ascetic Vulado, "is sweeter than one following great exertion. Nazdar thinks perhaps he did not stretch properly before his climb. He is no longer the spry 80-year-old he once was." Nazdar's knees tried to tell him he was no longer able to prance like a kitten, but he did not heed them. They are angry with him now. They are only sprains, aches. Can and should wrote Rid Tharidata, and knowing the difference between them is the cornerstone of wisdom. With Vol's ministrations, Nazdar will be back to his former self in an hour, perhaps more. Do not worry for him.
I'm no healer, but even I can tell Nazdar's really ground his gears this time. Maybe lost a few bearings while he was at it. The body's not so different from a machine when you think about it. I can patch him up, I'm sure of it. Yes? I mean, yes. Just need to lubricate the joints, I figure. This won't be a problem. Besides, it's not like I don't understand Khajiit anatomy. The Green Pact fought some deserters in Reaper's March a few years back. Anyway, now's not the time to talk about food. I have work to do. We'll be fine. If Taznasi says the guards don't come back here, I'll trust her. She knew this place like it was the house she grew up in. Which, I suppose it was. Back when Dashing de Salzo still ran things.
Well, better I'm paired up with you than the ancient adept or the smarmy wood elf. You look like you can handle a scuffle. I'm only good at knocking myself out with a bottle, but I know a spell or two to muffle the noise of the brawl. You know how many bar brawls I have to try to sleep through in the stitches? Trust me, I know I can cast that one drunk. Now, if there were only a spell to protect from rude awakenings involving buckets. They'll be with his lieutenants, I'll bet. They come to the Goiter's Gulp every few nights, get drunk and blather on about how much the boss trusts them and lets them get away with murder. Literally. They're bound to be in the palace, somewhere.
There you are. He's got her! He's got her!
Keep it down. What are you talking about?
Kazda, he and his bodyguard, biggest I've ever seen. They cornered Taznasi and took her back there. You have to save her.
If Nazdar's body did not protest, if he had been a few years younger, she would not be in such danger. Forgive him. Please, find Taznasi. Vol and I heard voices. We hid as they grew close. It was two of Kazda's guards, gloating about Taznasi's capture. Taznazi had been found looking through records, books. Kazda caught her in the act. Nazdar does not understand. Books were not the riches she said she sought. What wealth there is in knowledge cannot be measured in coin, as Ulu said, perhaps.
You have to free Taznasi. Kazda's gonna kill her. Deeper into the palace, the room carved into the rock. I popped the lock, but Kazda's enforcer is with him. Never seen a minotaur that big. Cud, that's what Kazda calls him. Had him since he took over the stitches, but I don't know his story. Not exactly the talkative type, always chewing something. If it comes down to it, I'd fight dirty. Cud's all muscle, I'll bet.
If Taznazi's been taken, it won't be long before Kazda kills her. You're the only ones that can do something about it. Vol and I are no good in a fight, and Nazdar looks like he'd get blown over by a gentle breeze. You're the best bet we have of getting in, getting Taznazi, and getting out. Don't worry about us. We'll find our own way out of the keep.
You're always naive, Taznazi. You and the Salzo both. So focused on the future that you never could see the night behind you. You have one friend left in this world, it seems. Not for much longer. Cut! You'll regret crossing Kazda!
He's getting away! Untie me! After him!
Spare me!
Shut up, Kazda! One more word from your lying tongue and Taznazi will claw it out! He did it. Everything Taznazi suspected him of. He killed the Salzo. He had her take the blame. He was proud of it. Now that I have my claws at his throat, he discovers the meaning of mercy. He took this one's home from her, the only one she has known, and he couldn't give it back if he wanted to. She has no proof but his word. Even if he confessed and cleared her name, the stitches she would return to is not the one she left behind. One joy is left to Taznazi, to kill Kazda. Then she leaves this all behind her, for good. The Salzo is dead. Everyone Taznazi has ever known turned their back on her. The stitches are in shambles. Why would this one ever want to return to such a place? You are right. Taznazi has tried to forget, tried to move on. Not a night goes by that she doesn't dream of times past. She knows what must be done. Taznazi will make this one face the justice of the stitches. Wait for her at the tavern in town. Taznazi will only make this offer once. Confess to the stitches for all you have done, and she will not try out your torture devices for herself.
Taznazi, you win!
Get up. All the stitches will hear the truth from your lips before the day is done. my friend. No, more than that. Family. Kazda's deeds have been made known to the Stitches. Taznazi's name is cleared. For now, at least, there is something to drink to. Or, in Serene's case, something else to drink to. Now Taznazi is home, and you enjoy her hospitality. Raise a mug, kick up your feet, and count your coin. There is much to be done to fix the damage Kazda did, but that is for Taznazi to worry about. Your work is done, even if hers is just beginning. Strange as it seems, Taznazi is not only forgiven in the Stitches, she is looked up to. It will take time for the Stitches to be as it was. Maybe it will never get there, but even if she cannot live up to Dashing DeSalzo's legacy, Taznazi will try. So much as anyone can be in charge of the Stitches. With Kazda in exile, there's hope of going back to how it was, how Dashing DeSalzo saw it. They have not entirely forgotten him, or Taznazi. She'll do her part. We all will. The job is done. Their lives are their own. But Taznazi wants to make life better in the Stitches, and she will need help to do so. She could use them, Vol's tinkering, Serene's magic, Nazdar's wisdom, if they will offer it.
Well, we didn't get near the vault. Normally I'd call the job a wash, but it seems like Taznazi owns the vault now, so I guess you could say the job was a success. Funny how things work out.
Do not mistake a righted wrong for an undone wrong, I believe is the mantra of Gautfang Master Junri. Nazdar is glad to know Taznazi's name is restored, but perhaps gladder to know she faced this tragedy and overcame it.
How many of those Avernal brothers are there? It's like a couple more every time I look over. I swear they are multiplying. How many of those Avernal?
Taznazi's in, Kazda's out. Business goes on all the same, dull as ever. The matter of Kazda's punishment presents some interesting opportunities, though I don't suppose she'll let him off with a good spanking.
I suppose the quality of service will have to go up now that Taznazi's in charge, but it's a small price to pay for a leader with some panache. She's no dashing DeSalzo, but she's got a certain charm. Any charm at all is a step up from Kazda. She couldn't be worse. Kazda was driving this place into the ground. Scipion and I were just getting our hands on anything we could before making a discreet exit. Now, we have time to savor the fruits of our labor.
Taznazi knows the Stitches isn't home to you as such, but she's glad to see you visit now and again. She wants you to see it for what it once was, not as you saw it the first time. Keeping the peace among this rogues gallery is no easy thing. Some days Taznazi almost misses the quiet solitude of exile, but every day she sees the Stitches get a little closer to DeSalzo's dream of a safe haven for those who would live free. DeSalzo had many friends, not just in the Stitches, but all throughout Elsweyer. Taznazi has sent word to each of them bearing condolences and the truth of Kazda's betrayal. He'll spend the rest of his days outcast and on the run. Once the tables turned on Kazda, his underlings scattered like rats. Those who were loyal to the Salzo are glad to see them go. Aside from Jubani's complaining and the Averno's wandering hands, Taznazi has nothing to fear. So far, Taznazi is up to the challenge, but if she finds herself in need of a helping hand, you can be certain she will reach out to you. For now, all Taznazi asks of you is that you make yourself at home.
Well?
A friend is the only gift that brings joy when returned. Or so the Bandari saying goes. Nazdar has never had much to give besides his friendship, but he can attest it is joy he feels seeing you here again. Nazdar has everything he needs, good health, good friends, and music in his heart. When he looks upon the stitches now, he is inspired. He sees dashing de Salzo's dream coming to life, and the notes flow as vigorously as his blood. He knows his playing is not welcomed by all, but Taznazi has forbidden the others from throwing things at Nazdar, so long as he does not sing. As the amicable Jazir once said, compromise is cousin to happiness.
Maybe it's the wood elf in me, but I really do prefer working outside. The one nice thing about working with Jubani is not having to skulk about dwarven ruins for scrap. Patching things up is my job. I told her I'd get Taznazi to overlook that old kidnapping for indentured servitude business for a mere tripling of my rate. Jubani may be a cutthroat business partner, but she's my best source of work. All thanks to you. If you hadn't come around, I'd be locked in a cellar for the rest of my days, and Kazda'd still be running this town into the ground. You helping Taznazi clear a name really turned things around for the Stitches. Yeah, and I'm not just saying that because I'm a friend. She's got a knack for leadership. Maybe she's not as charming as de Salzo was, but I think she's got more of an head for planning. In a year, this will be the new Warcrest. Watch and see.
I know you. At least I think I know you. My memory is a little hazy on anything past the last few days. You run that thing with Taznazi and me. You did that job with us. No, I'm not. Taznazi made me swear to lay off the drink for a while. It's awful. Well, maybe not as awful as I thought it'd be. This place is almost tolerable now that she's in charge. Gives me a few less reasons to reach for a bottle. It means I've got a headache, but I don't know. I was in a bad way before you doused me with that bucket, and I really botched things at the keep. Taznazi's cleaning up the mess Kazda made. She doesn't need mine, too. Yeah, well, we'll see. The more I remember, the harder it gets. There are a few things I'd rather not forget. Maybe that's enough.